Hello everyone, warm welcome. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back. So in our previous video, first of all I said, I'm not going to number my snippets anymore, but lovely Anne asked if I could continue numbering them. So that's not a problem, I'll continue numbering them, just in a slightly different way. So if we have a look at the Thrinchies, so we did 95 and 96 here, but as we're getting to number 100, we can't really stick down three numbers because it's going to start taking up quite a bit of space, I think, and then start detracting from our design. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got 95, 96 snippet. Now this is 97 and 98. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use TE32 and I'm going to use the little tag here from TE32. So I've got the little tags here from TE32 and I'm just going to take the tag. So for 97, I'm just going to write that in until maybe I bring out some stamps with some small numbers. So I'm going to add 97 just with my pen. I might use a thicker pen, a thicker micron pen, maybe a number 5. So let's try 97. You can just use a biro, whatever. So I'm going to use mine and number them so that the design, as you can see here, we've stuck them, I've normally stuck them behind, but as we get to a number 100, it gets to many. So I'm just going to number mine. I don't know where I'm going to put it, or I might just put it. You decide where you want to put this. I've also filled some of my little glue bottle up with some of the new Pink Frog neutral pH adhesive. So I've now got this online. It's actually reversible EVA adhesive, so you can sort of, remove it with water. So I've now got that in stock and I've added that to my bottle. It's got a quick grab as well, and it's free from plasticizers. So a really good glue, and it's got a low water content. So we've got that nice grab on there. The bottles are 225 ml. So a really good size bottle. Now, if you use these little containers, the bottles to put your glue in, they don't come with the glue, they come just as the bottles. You actually use less glue, so it actually lasts you quite a long time. The only thing that you have to remember is when you're using these glue bottles, don't leave any sort of little glue residue at the end. Make sure that that is clean. So this is going to be a video full of sort of making sure I've said things. I can tell now. So with number 97, I'm going to place this up here now. So it's entirely up to you where you number your little pieces. So you can see before I added them here and I used an old stamp set that I had with All and Create. But because we're getting to number 100 now, when we get to number 250 snippet, the numbers are going to get too big and you're going to have so many numbers across here, it's going to detract from your design. That's me anyway. It's your snippet, so you can number however you wish. So that's number 97. This is number 98, and these are all on YouTube. So that works perfectly. So that's number 98. So I'll just add that there. And I can easily just add a little bit of shading around as well if I wish to make it part of the design. So then we've got snippet number 99. So let's have snippet number 99. You can even, if you want to, add a little bit of text to your little tickets as well, so that it ends up part of your design. So it's entirely up to you. You see, now I'm up to 100. So that just means with this small ticket, I've not got anything too big on my design. So it works quite well. So it's entirely up to you how you add that. You know, you can add it to the bottom of your page here so that it's not on your design at all. And then in the previous video, I've now labelled the previous video so that it mentions snippet 101 and 102. We did these. I did a little creative time with Tracy and we created these snippets. So this is snippet 101. So snippet 101. Again, each snippet will differ where you add it. It's entirely up to you. So snippet 101. And then you can decide if you want to do them all or if you want to omit a few. Snippet 102. It just means that I've not got 3 little tags. Now, why am I using the tags? It's because it does actually all make sense. Let me just clean that glue. If you look at my designs, so let's grab an A6 stamp set. Have we got an A6 stamp set? So if you look at my A6 stamp set, you've got the little tag on there with the numbers, the little tag with the numbers, the A5 set, little tag with the numbers. So you've got A6, A7, A5. They've all got the little tags on there with the numbers. So that's why I suddenly came in and added the tags to my snippets, because then it's all cohesive. It follows through with the Tracy Evans boutique design. So it works quite nicely. So then when we were creating this, we had these 2 pieces as well, didn't we? So these are going to be snippet 103 and 4. But what I'm going to do is let's just close our pen up, and then I can just make these part of the design so it looks like a Tracy Evans snippet. Obviously your snippets are your snippets, so you can, you know, decorate them however you wish. So let's just take a little bit of water and we'll just add a little bit of shading around there. These are a couple of my favourite snippets, these 2. I actually spent some time yesterday and I was actually just looking through them all. And you know, it's a joy just to look through them all because it reminds you of techniques and it reminds you of ideas. It's just wonderful. I've loved looking through them all once again. I absolutely loved looking through them. So I love them. So I'm going to add a little bit of shading around this one. It just then looks more like a design element rather than I've just stuck this on piece. And don't forget, really, these snippets, they're for us, they're for you, so that we can look back on them and there is some reference to give us some ideas. So that's the whole point of the snippets, is to give us ideas so we're not leaving those products sitting on the shelf doing nothing. There's no point. There's no point buying products that we just leave on the shelf. I mean, I create for pure enjoyment. That is the reason I create, because I physically and I mentally enjoy doing it. So that is snippet 101 and 102. And what we can do, if you want, you can always sort of bring in, for instance, you could bring in your little TE17 stamp, which is an A8 stamp. And even the A8 stamp has got a little ticket, a little tag on there. So it's all thought through. But if I want to, you know, you can even make the little tickets part of the design. So we can add a little bit of Tracyism by adding a few little numbers and things on there. So it looks part of our art project. So, you know, it's entirely up to you. I could add a little berry to that. It's just the way you're going to decorate your book. No different than if you were doing bullet journaling, really. Look at that. See, I love that. Can you see? I've just got those little numbers on there. I absolutely love that. But it's no different than bullet journaling, really. If you think about bullet journaling or journaling, it's a way of expressing yourself, and it's a way that it's a hobby. We spend our time creating because we enjoy it. And that's what I love. I just love the fact I do it for that reason. So let's grab that word there. So look, you can just, so let's just make that into the T. So it says art. So let's just ink that again. I'll lift these up so you can see. You can't see what I'm doing there. But can you see now from that TE17, I've also got the word art on there. So you can make your little tags part of the project if you wish. It just makes it look a little bit more artsy. But this is your reference book. I absolutely love that snowdrops cut out of there. So this is your little reference book. So now, from our previous video, we have this. So this is going to be snippet number 103. And what I'll do is, when I load this video up, I will add that this is snippet 103 and 4, just so that you can see that. So I'm going to add this to my journal. And you can see my journal's getting quite thick now. I'm just going to hold that page up just so I can look to see if that's reasonably straightish. And because it's your reference book, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. You can scribble over the pages in white text with notes. The whole point is it's your reference, and you can look back on it so that it gives you, you know, even if you left that, it has got a quick grab, this pink frog glue. It's got a really good grab. So even if you just wanted to leave like that, it's a reference for you. I'm not going to leave it like that, by the way, but I just thought I'd let you know. So 102, so this is 103. There we go. Let's wipe up some of this ink, and then I can add my little A7 stamp again and add some of those little numbers just to my little tag. I love it. It's just you, or it's just me expressing myself. So let's add this to here. So I can bring this in, and you can decide where you want to add this. So I'm going to add that there with 103. And if you wanted to, you can leave your snippet like that, because at the end of the day, it's a reference. These snippets are literally snippets of ideas to give you ideas that if you go into your craft room and you're like, oh, I just don't know what to create, you might look at that and think, oh, I like that background. And maybe you've made notes. You can think, oh, I like that background. And I'll look at this and think, oh, this is what it does for me, is I look at that and think, oh, I've not used them chevrons for a while. I might use that with the new release. So it just sparks off some interest and inspires me to have another go, just creating. And that's what I absolutely love. I actually sold my other snippet book, because this starts at 55. My other snippet book I sold, but it just gives you lots of ideas just to look back on. And it's not about perfection, it's about looking back and giving you ideas to grab those stamps off the shelf, so they're not sitting there after you've spent your hard-earned pennies just gathering dust. You don't want that. You don't want them gathering dust. Now what I'm going to do is we'll move that stamp set out of the way. We'll take any excess adhesive off there, and then I'm just going to keep my finger there. Then I can just line that up and place that back whilst I'm yakking. We'll take this out of the way, and I've left my die cutting machine here, And I'm going to take, now we've got all the dies in here. So I've kept my dies in my wallet. And I'm going to bring my die cutting machine up. And we'll just add a little bit more to that one. So I'll lift the die cutting machine up. And the way I talked then, you'd think that was heavy. It's not. So I'm going to grab some white card. Look at the pathetic amount of white card I've got. I don't even know if I don't think that's going to be enough. First of all, let's come on, Tracy, you must have another piece of white card somewhere. There we go. And I use the cutting plate and I cut into the cutting plate. Some of you have your cutting upwards. It's entirely up to you. I'm then going to use the lovely DI04, which is die floral cuts. And then I've got another little thing I need to point out that somebody else mentioned to me. Let me just grab it out for you. Do you remember this? And I was saying to you, oh, it's a bit floppy and my magnetic sheet. A couple of ladies said to me, if I add this magnetic sheet to a piece of card, it'll stop it sort of bending. So I will do that at some point. But I want to take my little die, just take that off the glue dot, and I'm going to place that down. And I don't need to add low tack tape because I'm only cutting this out. I'm not cutting anything else out with that. So we'll just place that through. Now don't force your die cutting machine. Just be careful that you check your cutting combinations. If you have to force it and you're nearly breaking your arm, that means that you've not got the right combination. These are thinlet dies, so just use your combination for thinlet dies. But just look how easily that cut out. Just a dream. And this is 300 GSM card. And it is very important for me to do some cutting out during some of the lives rather than saying, voila, here's one already done, because you need to see that it's die cut properly. So now you can see I'm just going to add a white one here as well, just so that you can add that. You can make use of your black card as well if you wish, but I don't want to do that on this occasion. Let's take this. But I just love that, the way it cuts out. It's just a lovely, lovely design. And if you looked at Patricia's project, I think it was yesterday, she sort of added some shape to the snowdrops, you know, like I do sometimes with a round ball tool. And if you sort of do it from the back, you can sort of turn the snowdrop around so you've got it facing the other way as well. Lots of top tips, have you noticed? And top tips from the customers as well about adding card to the back. So this video is just going to be itty bitty bitties. So let's just grab that. Let's grab some card. What size is this? Nobody knows what. Oh, it's quite big, isn't it? So let's grab a big piece of card like you do. So I've got some 300 GSM card, and they said if I stick this to the card, I love top tips. If I stick this to the card, so let's go right to the edge. Go up a bit, Tracy. So I'm sticking my magnetic sheet to a piece of Pink Frog Super Smooth card 300 GSM. obviously let that stick down, give it time to stick down. It'll then stop my magnetic sheet being a bit pathetically, you know, limp and bending all over the place. I didn't need to keep the dies on there, I just did, because I couldn't be bothered to pull them all off. So then I can just trim round this. Top tip from our customers. And it works because I can feel it's already not flopping. So why didn't I think of doing that? You see, that's why it's good that we all share, because we all remember different things that we've learned. And maybe I didn't even think about that, because until I bought out some of my own dies, I didn't do that much die cutting. So it's good, isn't it, that we all share? So now that is rigid, doesn't flop all over the place. Hey, don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Doesn't take much to make me happy. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that at the moment with the white one on there, because Snippet 103 for me is about the technique in the background and the fact that we've left this opening. So it's about reminding me when I do another project to remember this technique. That's what Snippet 103 is all about. Snippet 104 is all about don't bin your cutout pieces. That's what Snippet 104 is all about. Don't bin those cutout pieces, because we've used it as a project in its own right. But I can play around with this, can't I? So let's grab, now we want stencils, Tracy, come on. Which stencils are you after? Okay, where's your circular stencil? Is that with stencils? Yes, so I've now got my stencil. That's why I've put it here, you see, and then I don't read it. So let's grab our circular stencil. So if we take circular ST6, the stencil, I'll then faff trying to find the stencil. Which one are you? There we go. This is why I like to keep them in a wallet, because I know what I'd be like. I would be terrible if I hadn't got them in a wallet. I have to be organised. So I'm sitting here, and then you can, which white pen are you going to use? Then you look for a white pen. I've got that many white pens, it's ridiculous. This is a Signo. So let's see. And I don't even know if it's new, what it is. You need to prime them first. There we go. But you can then, so you've got choices. So for a start, you can start pattern building. So I'm not a Zentangler. It's just not my cup of tea. But if you're a Zentangler, you can now, what are you? Thank you. You can now sort of play with your piece. So I can start playing and using my circle stencil just to add little touches of different things. So let's have, don't be frightened to play. At the end of the day, these are your snippets. It doesn't matter if we make mistakes, it doesn't quite work out how we'd planned. What does it matter? It doesn't. Embrace it. the idea is that we're all learning from this as well. So there's a little circle here, so let's have I can't tell you how stupidly happy I am because I've got a circle stencil and I don't have to use a piece of card that I keep bringing out. And to prove I did do it, this is my piece of card that I bought out all the time that was done from drawing round things. So I've still got that, and I now don't have to use that pathetic, messy piece of card. I've now got my own stencil. Small things. So let's have that here. So if you wanted to Zentangle in these now, you could Zentangle, couldn't you? But I like colouring. So I'm going to colour mine. And I'm really hoping somebody's going to answer the door. There we go. Just remember to clean out your bits of glue. Don't leave the glue sat there. You could also stamp in white and emboss in white, couldn't you? But let's now grab our coloured pencils. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either colour in white and add some colour over the top, or use pencils that go straight onto black card. So let's use our Prismas because I'm slightly obsessed. And let's use colours. So, again, just grab, I know it's on white card, but I'm just judging colours, that's why. So I want, this colour looks nice, look. So that looks nice. Then we want a little bit of a darker colour, don't we? Maybe even darker. What colour are you? No. So you will do this as well, if you're anything like me. Okay, so maybe them three colours. And let's grab some green. Now, you know I'm going to have a little bit of chartreuse in the green. Let's grab, is it spring green? Spring green. And then we want a nice dark green. So dark green will be fine. So now what I can do, well, for a start, shall we sharpen our white pencil? So we've got our white pencil, and you can see 28 minutes, all I've done is give you snippets of ideas. That's the whole point of snippets, I suppose. But what you can do is, so let me just make that a bit smoother. So then you can just pinpoint a few areas if you want. So for a start, I could take my white Prisma pencil and very lightly just colour my pencil. Now, I've seen a lot of posts in the last weeks, not in our group, because we don't need it questioning, because we know why we do it, but in other groups saying, well, why'd you craft? What's the point? Oh, there is no point. It's just a delight, absolute delight. We do it because we love it. And it's just so therapeutic. I just think it's wonderful. I don't have to have a reason. So I'm now going to take the white and I'm just going to colour in very lightly. Now, I have become slightly obsessed with colouring. And I'm not perfect at all with colouring. You know, I'm not one of these botanical artists. I just love it because I'm quite happy with the results that I get. So it makes me quite happy. So I'm just going around in a circular motion, just with my white Prisma. Now you know what you could do over the white Prisma, don't you? You could do some white Zentangling and some black Zentangling. So yin yang. There's so many ideas. So let's do this one. So that's the white. I'm going to do these in the blue colours. So I will start with indigo blue. Oh, let's have a little bit more white first. I'm just going to add another layer of that white, just a little bit. And again, if you wanted to, you could quite easily keep this in the white colour. So I'm going to use my indigo blue 901. So just take the indigo blue 901. I'm only pressing gently. I'm not coming in too hard because I've already added that layer of white. So I don't want to come in now and press so hard that I break down the fibres too quickly and then I've got nowhere to go. So I'm coming in very lightly, and sometimes I whisper when I do that. So that was indigo blue 901. This is 1027. Somebody's told me this before. I'm so bleu paillon. Was it something like peacock blue or something? Somebody mentioned what that was. Bleu, which is obviously blue. Do you like my pronunciations in French? No. And paillon, P-A-O-N. Is that peacock blue? I'm sorry, but I haven't got a clue. But it's PC 1027 because you can see mine is worn away. And the pencil, it's just obviously come like that because I've not used it that much. So I'm then going to come in with this colour, whatever colour I've just made up. So we'll just come in with that colour. Just come in with that colour. And then we'll come in with the beautiful light aqua 992. So we'll come in with that beautiful aqua 992. And for you, you're probably squinting at the screen and thinking, I can hardly see anything, Tracy. That's the whole point. You go on very lightly. Can you see? So you don't press on too hard. And this can just be something you do sitting by the TV. So let's come in and just add a little bit more white at the top. A little bit more white at the top. A little bit more white at the top. And the only reason I added the white underneath the other colours is so they will pop a little bit more. So I'm going to come in with the indigo blue 901. I do repeat what the colours are because if you're anything like me, I soon forget. That's just me. Now, if you want to, you can still Zentangle over the top of these. It's entirely up to you. So let's come in and just add this colour once again. So I'm coming in really lightly. So then we're coming to the blue that Tracy has surely made a name up, but it's 1027. And from now on, it's going to be known as peacock blue, even though Tracy hasn't got a clue what she's talking about. But hey ho. So just add whatever blue this is. But for the purpose of this, you've got the number and we're calling it peacock blue. There we go. Then I'm going to come to the beautiful light aqua 992 and come in. Now you're coming into your previous colour. So you're coming into that previous colour with your light aqua colour. So you're coming in. And what I'm hoping I'm doing is that I'm giving you another idea to use your stamps and stencils. I don't want to bring stamps and stencils out that you don't use. And if you're not going to use them, don't buy them. I don't want you to buy products that you're not going to use. It's important to me that when you've had to work hard for your pennies and you've spent your hard-earned pennies on a product, it is so, so important for me that you love those products and you love them enough to use them, not just collect them. You need to use them. If you're just going to collect them and not use them, sell them, because there's just no point. They're there to be enjoyed. They're there to be inky. Your stencils are meant to have paint over them. Enjoy them. And don't let anybody tell you that everything has to be perfect. Does it, heck? It's all about embracing that process. The times I was told that if you don't do it this way, it isn't right. Utter rubbish. Don't let anybody sort of dull your sparkle. Listen at me preaching. What am I like? Let's just enjoy our colouring and our hobby. It's wonderful. Then I'm going to come in with the light aqua again. And just lightly add that light aqua. So I do apologise to all of you this afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon, for that lovely preachy post. But I love you to just enjoy your products. It means so much to me. So we're going to come in with that white now. And just come into all the other colours. So come in with your white. And come in to all your other colours. And this is we're just creating this from leftovers, really, because they were leftover pieces that we had, which I just think is wonderful. I love it when we use leftover pieces. So then I'm going to come in and just add another layer of the dark colour, which is our indigo blue. And even though my fingers have come further down on that pencil barrel, I'm not pressing hard. I'm then going to use the peacock blue, as it's now known, because Tracy hasn't got a clue. And we're going to come in. And with your peacock blue, you're coming in to that indigo. So you're coming into your indigo. So for those of you that, can't afford to have 3 lots of different pencils, just use your white base and then you can use them. Then I'm going to use the light aqua. Just a stunning colour that light aqua is. Particularly when you come in to your other colours as well. It's wonderful. So use your light aqua to come in to those other colours. And then use your white and just come in with the white. So if you want, this could be a project that you do over a couple of sessions, because you've got other circles in there. So it could be something you do over a couple of sessions. It doesn't have to be all in one go. If you've only got 10 minutes, I just find it wonderful just doing a little bit of colouring. Just brings me so much pleasure. I'm then going to use our greens. So we'll take the white pencil again. I have to move them out of the way because I am dozy enough to pick them up. So I'm going to add the white again. And obviously, if you know that you're going to colour all your circles in, you can do all the white first if you wish. No problem at all. So if you know you're going to colour them all in, then by all means, colour all your white areas in. I just like to do it a bit at a time. It's just me. And then we'll do this one. So just take your time and don't break that card down too soon. And don't press too hard. Just be mindful about not pressing too hard. So then I can come in with my greens. So first I'm going to start with my dark green. Start with that dark green. Start with the dark green again. And start with the dark green again. Now, if you want to, you could easily do this on a completely big journal page as well, straight onto black card, and just do this with your circles. So it then moves on to give you other ideas. I'm then going to come to the spring green. So the dark green was 908. The spring green is 913. So let's come in with that spring green. Come in with a little bit of that spring green. And again, don't press too hard. Then we're going to come in with another favourite of mine, is the chartreuse 989. Not that you can tell that I like this colour very much. The chartreuse, you can't tell that, can you? So come in with the chartreuse. And then we'll go back with our white. Go back with the white just to this top area. So normally you're filling in the spaces on your white card. This time you're filling in the black open spaces on your black card. But you're not pressing too hard each time you add a layer. So again, we'll go to the lovely dark green and add the dark green. And you can see sometimes I change my mind how far up I come with the green. And then I decide, oh yes, I'll just add a little bit more green. Sometimes I do that. There we go. Then we'll come to our beautiful spring green. And I'm telling you now, I cannot wait for those spring greens to pop up in the garden. I've just had a little bit of work done in the garden because we had a border in the mid. Do you like how I just waffle about anything? What am I like? I had this border in the middle of the garden. And I've decided this year I want to spend a little bit more time sitting in the garden and enjoying it. Now, we used to have a willow tree, so we'd got like a border in the middle here, and then the willow tree was here. But the willow tree, unfortunately, died after 23 years. It got a fungal disease and died, so it had to come down. I kept the tree base, so now we've got the willow tree base here, and it's got a border around it, which is lovely. And the plants have taken off beautifully. But now I've had this middle border taken out, and I've had a big square patio put on because the sun comes down this way. At the moment it looks like a landing pad. Looks like I'm going to get a helicopter, but I'm not. I'm going to have comfy settees, and the idea this year is I sit there and enjoy the garden instead of working in it the whole time. So the idea is I sit there. I also capture some photographs for inspiration, for stamps, and just enjoy my garden that I've worked on for 20 odd years and still needs loads of work doing to it. What I mean by that is after 20 odd years, sometimes you need to replant things. Some things are past the best, so they need refreshing And I think I'm at that stage again now. I've refreshed a couple of borders last year, and they still need some more plantings. Because you can't do it all at once, can you? It's just impossible. So that's where I'm at the moment, and I'm all excited. Just need to get some chairs or a settee or something to put on there. And after I've waffled about that, I've now added another layer of those colours. Yes, Tracy can talk for England. So now I'm going to come in again with that dark green. There we go. And anybody that's come to this channel and thinks, I just want to watch a card being made with no waffle, this definitely isn't the channel for you. Because Tracy is the biggest waffler and faffer on the planet. So it's definitely not for you. That's all I'm saying. So that was the dark green. We're going to come to the spring green, and I can't recommend enough that you sharpen those pencils. As you can see, mine's not sharpened, but there you go. So let's come in and lay down that pigment with that spring green. Just glorious. Make sure I am actually using some of the pigment rather than the... So coming in with that spring green, and with the spring green, you're coming in to that dark green colour with your spring green. Now, don't worry if your colouring isn't perfect. Mine isn't. And what you're doing here is you're practising that. This is a good way to practice what it looks like as you add more layers to your colours and how it smooths out. I'm now using the chartreuse just to come in. So use your chartreuse, which gives a little bit of that brightness. Then I'm going to come in with our white. So let's come in with the white. And with the white, you come in to all the other colours, just to smooth out your area a little bit. So just use your white just to come in a little bit more. Just, can you see? Isn't it fun? I just think it's great fun. Just great fun. Just to add. And the stamp set TE16 is just wonderful in the background on all these projects. Look how wonderful it is on every one of these projects. Just amazing. And from those, we still had these tags left as well. Amazing. You know, and you can even sort of add tags dangling from your page pinned in there as well. Honestly, you could go on forever, or I could. So let's now add a little bit of white to the other circles. Now, if you get a little bit of a waxy bloom, blow it away or use a soft brush. Don't rub it away with your finger because you will leave a mark. Can you see there? There's a bit of waxy bloom. Brush it away with a soft brush. You don't need to buy anything specific. I mean, I must have a soft brush somewhere. Just a soft brush. Just flick it away. So let's colour this in. There we go. So we've got the lovely layer of white added on there. Very roughly added on there. Now what I want now is some paler blues. So I like the aqua. Let's go a little bit paler. So now we'll have the powder blue What colour are you? Let me have a look. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. No, no. What's this one? Caribbean. Oh, go on then. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to use the Light Aqua 992 as my dark colour in this case. So let's use that Light Aqua that we've used before. And just use the Light Aqua. Don't press on too hard. Then I'm going to come with the what? Is that Caribbean blue? Caribbean Sea. 1103. If I've just made the name up, ignore me. It's 1103, whatever that colour is. So 1103, let's come in and add a little bit of that. So a little bit of that colour. Let me just see. Yeah, Caribbean Sea. Spa. Caribbean Sea. PC 1103. As if they call something Caribbean Spa, Tracy. Right, let's just... Then we're going to come to the very pale colour, which is Powder Blue 1087. Then you're going to use your 1087. And just add a little bit of the paler blue. I won't add the white yet. So then we'll come in with the lovely Light Aqua that we used before, which was 992. So just add that. There we go. And you can also, if you want to, just sort of, if you've gone over the line slightly, just bring that whiteness back in again. Then we're going to go to the Caribbean Sea. 1103. I like how 30 seconds later I can't remember the colour. And with that one, come into your Light Aqua with that colour. There we go. And then you're going to come with your Powder Blue. Now don't forget these colours are a lot paler. And then you're going to grab your white, and then you're going to come in a little bit more with your white. And just colour in a little bit more with your white. So even when we do something very simple, you can still come away with lots of ideas. So let's go back to the aqua again. So just come with your aqua. Then we're going to go to the Caribbean Sea that Tracy stalls over because she can't remember each time, even 35 seconds before. So just come in and add your second colour. Then we'll come to our Powder Blue. Again, come into your previous colours with your powder blue. Then you're going to grab your white. So come in with your white. So I'm just coming in a little bit more with the white now, just on each piece. Just to add a little bit more white and a little bit more intensity. Now please remember, if you've got a little bit of waxy bloom, do not brush it with your hand. And any soft brush is absolutely fine. Where's that soft brush I had before? Or just blow. There we go. But isn't it fun just to have something on there? And then what we can do is, let's put that circular stencil back, because then we're not looking for it. As this stencils, no, that's dies. So let's put that stencil back, and then let's get our lovely, lovely text stencil. I just love this stencil. I knew I'd use it loads. I just knew it. And I'm actually rather smitten with the Distress Texture Paste Opaque, mainly because it's so light and there's something about it. I only have to use a tiny bit. And with this stencil, it's just a dream. Absolute dream. I only have to take a little bit. It's really light. Look at the tiny amount you have to take. And I can just put a tiny amount through there, and it just works brilliantly. Got a bit on there that I didn't need. So what are you going to do then? Let's have the word colour. So I can pick out little words. I didn't actually need any more texture paste, if I'm honest. It's just the tiniest amount, and then let's add a little bit more texture paste, just as random going through here, just with a few random letters. Oh, it's just lovely. Look, absolutely wonderful. But where's my, let me move this up. Let me show you how little you need again. So on this one here, I've not added any more texture paste. It's hardly anything on there. But if I just press down just the tiniest bit, you can even add the I can see it on there. I'll hold this up so you can see it in a minute, because there's a little bit of texture paste on the stencil here. I can literally just press that texture paste in, and it'll just leave the slightest little bit of texture. I've got to hold this up for you. Let me just clean the stencil, because you've got a lot of fine detail on that stencil. So be mindful to give that a little bit of a clean. Don't leave that texture paste in there, because it'll fill in some of the gaps. Ask me how I know that. That's all you have to do, because I make the mistake loads of times. But let me show you this. You've got, can you see there? Look, just the tiniest bit of texture, and it works a dream. That stencil is just yummy. Right, so let's bring this in. Look at this. How gorgeous is that, just from a bit of texture? And you can easily Zentangle in that. So many options. Just so many options. So many simple ideas. Just wonderful. Let's add this to our page, and then we'll add some Posca pen. Oh, now normally I don't add a black mat. I just added this because I'd added so much moisture to the white card, just so it was easier to put on. There we go. Try not to put your hands on that texture paste, which is exactly what Tracy will do. Yes, and that adhesive has got a lovely, lovely quick grab. Wonderful. Just wonderful. And you hardly use any glue, which is just even better. Remember, just wipe off the little bit of extra glue that's on there. Don't leave your glue out so that the air gets to it, because then you try and force that in and then you break your pin. I'm now going to add some Posca splatters, because everything will just pop with those Posca splatters. And then we'll take our little number again, and this is 104. So 104. Then I'm going to take my little TE17 little stamp. I'm going to add a little bit of detail to that. And every year you might do something different. But that's how our art develops. That's what makes it change every year. So we'll then take, what did I say? Fasten this up when you're finished. No, I didn't finish. I'll take that. Just works every time. Just brilliant. 104. There we go. And I just love the fact that all we've done is spend a little bit of time going over what we'd already done, but showing how you can add to it, how you can change things. It's just wonderful. And this is what's lovely about the, was this the one I used? Doesn't look like it. What I love is you can then come in and you can still add a little bit of doodling around your piece. And it's just a form of expression. So it's entirely up to you how your pages develop. But that was the whole point of bringing about the snippets, because they're snippets of ideas. It doesn't have to necessarily be a finished idea. It's pure and simply a snippet of an idea. So I'm just adding a few circles just to make things pop a little bit more. You know, and it proves that even if you can only afford a few stencils, there is lots you can do with stencils. There really is. Just enjoy yourself. Express yourself however you wish in your book. And I just think that's great fun. I've really enjoyed it. So I hope you've enjoyed that hour, and I can't wait to see your interpretations. So that was snippet 103 and 4. So love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.